Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our friend Nick. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. I can only come this far, so I'm going to stay back here and talk to all of you. The challenge I had was to talk about something that I wish I had done a long time ago. And you can tell by my gray hair and my lack of hair, there's got to be a whole wide variety of things that I didn't do right or that I didn't do when I should have done them. So what I thought I'd talk to you about, the thing that I really felt that I really followed up the most was in making connections. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. How many of you in this room know everybody that's here? Okay, I'm going to have you do a little exercise for me. I want you to stand up and I want you to introduce yourself to two people you don't know and get their names. Do it right now. Go. Introduce yourself to two people you don't know.
Now I understand.
There's an old saying that goes, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You know, sometimes you wonder if that's really a true statement. But I'll share, I have been around for many, many years. And I met kids when I was in college. I went to ASU. And I met kids when I first started to work. And I met my neighbors and I met people all over the place. I got active in community organizations and I did major in engineering. But I went on and I moved on, and you will too. And now I'm looking back and said, I need to access a major company. That name sounds familiar, but he doesn't know who I am. That person might have sat in class with me. So when you look around this room today, those people that you meet might be the connection that you need to take your business or your career to the next level. It's really important. So what I'm challenging you to do is to start off with, by right now, starting today, start a database of people that you meet. Now, I don't want you to just have a name and forget all about that person. I want you to meet that person. I want you to shake that person's hand. And I want you to go ahead and say, is that all right if I stay in touch with you? You don't have to become the very best of friends. The secret to having connections in a database is to have people that you know that you can reach out to when you need them. So it's very important that you start now. I run a lot of organizations. One of them that I was fortunate enough that will be meeting here at ASU is called Gray Hair Entrepreneurs. And these are people that are over 55 that are trying to start businesses or are currently in business or not reaching what they want to do. So the first question I ask all these people, I interview them. I've interviewed over 40 of them already so far. I've got 120 people that have signed up for the program. And so I'm asking them, well, let's talk about how you build your business and how you move ahead in your career. And I said, first of all, tell me how big is your database? And they say, what's a database? And these are people in their 50s and 60s that don't understand the importance of having connections. And so your business isn't growing at the rate that you want it to grow. So who are you asking for help? Well, I go to networking meetings and I pick up 20 cards a day. You don't know anybody. Creating a network and a connection is creating a relationship. And you guys are perfect time to start this, because the person sitting next to you today, the person you shook hands with today, might be your next boss, might be the person that you want to go ahead and ask a favor, that maybe has some equipment or some tools that you need. They're going to open those doors for you. If you walk away from here, you're going to be like these 120 people that I just met in the last couple of months that don't have anybody to reach out to for help. And they've got, some of their businesses are going, but a lot of them have reached what I call a glass ceiling. They can't grow to the next level. And so they really need to have some connections. And all the knowledge in the world isn't going to make you happen if you don't have a connection. So how do you stay in contact with people? You just introduced yourself to a bunch of people today. What's your next step? What do you think you should do next? Anybody?
Find them on LinkedIn.
Pardon?
Find them on LinkedIn.
Find them on LinkedIn. That's a start. What else? Get their contact information. My challenge to you is, we've only got 2, 4, 6, 8 people here. I challenge you before you leave today to get their name and get a phone number. And then I want you to go ahead and call them up and have a cup of coffee or Coke or something with them and have them share their story with you. Find out what they're majoring in, why they're majoring in what they're doing, and ask them for what their goals are. What is your vision? And then you share your story with them. I don't expect you guys to become best friends, but now you've got something in writing. And then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to say, do you mind if I stay in contact with you? How do you stay in contact with somebody? How do you communicate with people? One of the things that I've got a lot of my students from Venture Devil program, I'm getting to do a value-based newsletter. I don't mean something that you send out every day, but you ask these people that you meet today and say, do you mind if I stay in touch with you? And I don't expect you to call them every week or have coffee with them, but I'd like for you to at least probably every 3 months, 4 months, send them a little newsletter that goes to all your friends. You can use something like MailChimp, which is free, or Constant Contact, and just send a newsletter telling them what you're up to. And if you have a story to tell or you accomplished something, you found a great class, you found a great teacher that you just really love, and you talk about this group over here, the Make It Happen group. There's a lot of information that's given to you by people that are living the walk. They're not reading the walk. They've been out there in business, and they know what they need. So go out there and ask these people, can I just put you on my email list? Send you, about every 3-4 months, I'll send you a little newsletter, stay in touch. And now you have the contact information, you have their email, and maybe there's something in your newsletter when you talk about yourself in your newsletter and what you're doing and what offers, what help you can give other people, you can offer that. And then you've got something to go with, something to work with. So that's a real important thing to do. Now, how many of you are going to really do that? There's a definition of character that a mentor of mine gave me about 40 years ago. He said, character is the ability to carry on after the mood has left you. Did you ever go to a class or hear somebody get you all excited? And you really want to continue and say, I'm going to do that. And then you go home and you get up the next morning and say, I got a lot of homework, I got a lot of classes, I'll do that later. And it never happens. So I'm asking you to have some character and to reach out and meet these people that you have here. Now, the meetup doesn't stop here. All of you have friends on campus. All of you have classmates on campus. All of you have met Brent, haven't you? Do you have all his contact information? You should have it, because if he gets to be president of ASU, you're going to want to know who he is and how he does it. So all the people here, all the staff that are here, people you should know who they are, because they're in a position to help you, not just to find your way around campus, but also as you go on to your next career. If you want to start a business, you want to go to work somebody, all these people are going to pay. So reach out to your relatives, people that you know that are in business. Anywhere in the world counts. We're no longer Tempe, Arizona or United States. We're an international organization, and so you're going to have feelers all over the world. And what a great place to meet people that can give you those contacts other than right here at ASU. So please do yourself a favor and don't be sorry about that. Now, can I answer any questions or any thoughts anybody has on this? It's really hard to do, isn't it? And I'm asking you guys to find, you're carrying 18 hours, you're working a part-time job, and now you've got to go out and stay in contact. But that's what's going to pay off more than anything else that you do. I've got a lot of people that have started at ASU that I've worked with that have gone through engineering, and the people we have in the Venture Devil program, engineers, and they started business. They got motivated, and Brent's leadership brought this program here to ASU, this Venture Devil program, where we got some great mentors in there, and those people can teach you how to grow a business. And the thing that you're going to find out all along the way is what your contact look like. I had a mentor student that came through about 4 or 5 years ago, and he needed to create a certain type of material that could be conductive to electricity and could heat up without electrocuting anybody. And I happened to know that one of the VPs over at that point at Dial, and they had a plastic substance that did that. So I was able to put him in, make that phone call, and the student was able to go over there, and they gave him all kinds of samples from the lab, and they stressed up a relationship. I could have never done that if I hadn't had a contact there. So I really want to encourage you guys to please go out, reach out to your family, your friends, Tell them that you're putting out a quarterly or every 4, 5, 6 month newsletter right now, and you want to stay in touch. Before you leave today, everybody that's in this room, I want you to get their name and their phone number and their email, and promise me that you'll at least make the contact to go out there, have a cup of coffee with them, see what their goals are, see what they want to do, and always ask people if you can help them in any way. You never ask them to give you anything. So when you work with your contacts and you establish this database, you always ask people, hey, how can I help you? And go back and talk to your teachers. Your teachers are great contacts for you. And they see an awful lot of students. They can't remember all of us. But they'll remember you if you reach out to them and touch them and offer to help them, and then tell them what a great impact their class had on you, that you owe your success for that particular teacher. You can tell them all the same thing. They'll believe it because their egos are really big, but you can go ahead and get them to go ahead and really get involved with you.
Hi y'all, my name is Dylan. My company is EqualComm, and we're eliminating the barriers to information by revolutionizing communication technology for the deaf. The problem that we see is that communication barriers exist between the deaf and hearing populations. They're expensive solutions to make content ADA and Section 504 compliant, where it is a requirement that an equivalent alternative be provided to allow deaf individuals to understand any sort of audio content. Our customers are deaf individuals who represent 12% of the US population, individuals who want to learn sign language, and education and broadcasters who provide captioning for any media event. Our addressable market is the 1 million deaf Americans who currently use ASL as a primary language, 40 million Americans who have some form of hearing loss, 95 million Americans who rely on broadcasting closed captions every day, and over 100,000 students in higher education who enrolled in some sort of ASL course throughout their studies. We estimate that our market opportunity is a $2.5 billion market. That equates to 106 million hours a year that we caption or interpret. We split this up into 4 market segments that represent 10 distinct revenue streams. Our software competitors, there isn't a direct competitor to us, as we do provide captioning and interpreting for any audio content. There are specific providers to provide interpreting or captioning, but not both. EqualComm aims to become the real-time virtual ASL interpreting service. We get there. We've currently split up a short-term trajectory into 3 distinct phases. The first is a social subscription app where we're teaching individuals to learn sign language. A second is a real-time speech-to-text and text transcription service. We're combining those 2 into a text-to-ASL service as part of our phase 3 expansion. Our solution is a universal application that will be ADA and Section 504 compliant for use in all situations. Our solution takes a variety of inputs, live, pre-recorded video, and many more, and converts them into outputs that can represent transcripts, interpretations for live, and you can download and watch them after the fact. Our phase 1 is a text-to-ASL service, and we are focused on building a sign language database of 20,000 signs over the next 6 months. The application will display a 360-degree view of a 3D virtual avatar, so you can rotate it any way you want, so you can learn the specific signs that you want to learn. Our phase 2 is a transcription service. It's fully functioning, and we anticipate it to become ADA and Section 504 compliant, and we want to become the first speech-to-text service that is ADA and Section 504 compliant on the market today. We are combining speech-to-text and text-to-ASL and creating a distinct pipeline to build a speech-to-ASL engine. This is what we anticipate a universal application to look like. We display a room code, which is simply like a specific room that anybody can connect to. An easy way to think of this is your Ustream audio charge service. It has a specific room code attached to it. You can have 100 different individuals connect to that room and view the captions or interpreting for a live audio event. Our unit economics are really simple. We anticipate a profit margin of between 75 and 93% as we do drop our costs and start pricing at or above minimum wage here in the United States. We are focusing on cost reduction strategy. If we look at the unit economics of ASU's model currently, they are paying between $30 and $50 an hour for captionists or interpreters for classrooms and other audio events. These individuals need 48 hours advance notice. They pay even if a class is canceled or the student does not show up, and they have to pay for at least 1 hour of service even if a meeting is at 15 minutes. and we revisit a market opportunity. This is how we break it down. We do estimate that higher education is going to be one of our largest market segments with 40,000 students. And then we also anticipate that education, government, and private sector will encompass most of our captioning and interpreting currently. We do looking at a capital requirement. Your phase 1 capital requirement is going to be our most intensive because we do need to build a sign language database. This database requires a professional motion capture rig, which is very similar to what you'd see in AAA movies and AAA video games, capturing everything from facial animations to full body movements. We have currently raised $20,000 from the Edison Student Entrepreneurship Initiative, and we're currently looking for additional follow-on capital from various programs. Our exit strategy is really simple. We anticipate an acquisition to add sign language and speech-to-text capabilities to a specific app, possibly from Apple, Google, Microsoft, or Amazon, an IPO and a liquidity event, or an equity distribution to our shareholders once we are currently profitable. Our team, there is me, and I am a deaf individual who understands the hardships and challenges of the deaf community. We have received many accolades through a 1-year tenure here at Venture Devils from joining Autodesk Technology Impact Program. We were finalists in a New Venture Challenge, and we won the Edison Student Entrepreneurship Initiative. We are currently building our advisory board to be top-tier individuals who could support our growth. And we have 2 individuals with finance experience, and then Luke, who was an early employee at Facebook, who grew their mobile platform team. And that's my presentation, and I thank you.